Hello everyone and welcome back. I was doing some Vaughn missions in my Idris, just trying out, seeing how that works, if you can do them solo. And like the Idris-P, spoiler alert, you can. It is a little bit problematic sometimes with if it's like a Connie that's spinning circles around you, but it is doable. But I have acquired some different size cargo boxes and I thought it would be a good opportunity to do some testing on the Idris's cargo grid. Again, this is the Idris-P, which that has an additional cargo room up on B deck where the missile room would be in the Idris-M. So there's some cargo storage up there we can test. I want to see what we can fit in the different places. There's also the cargo deck above the hangar here that has some additional storage, as well as areas in the hangar itself for cargo. So we have some different size boxes. We're just going to do a little bit of testing to see what fits where and how we can best utilize the cargo grid in the Idris, and if it's worth maybe doing cargo hauling with this, or using it for storing bounty cargo or things like that. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. And as we get into it, I will again remind you that I am running a giveaway for a Greycat MTC during Invictus. You will need to go to the video that I have linked in the description of this video and leave a comment on that video. And that way you'll be automatically entered for the giveaway. You will need to be able to, if you happen to win, you'll need to be able to contact me via Discord so I can verify that you are who you say you are. But that is all the terms for it. So you just need to go to that video, leave any comment you want, and you'll automatically be entered for that. So first we'll go over what we know of the specs of the Idris's cargo grid. So this is from the sales page for the Idris-P. So in total you have 1,326 SCU in the entire ship. It shows in the hangar you have 1,024 SCU. In the cargo bay we have 302 SCU, and in the additional cargo room we have 48 SCU, which is not a ton, but a little bit of extra space for stuff. So that all totals to 1,326. So those three separate areas that you have throughout the ship. In the picture here it looks like they just have 16 SCU containers in the hangar. As well as in this upper cargo deck. So we'll have to see if we can fit anything bigger than that there. We'll try that out, and then see what we can get into these other cargo bays as well, so you can see what sort of size containers you could store there. So let's go ahead and test some of that out. Alright, so let's start by trying out some things in the hangar here. So the cargo grids in the hangar, there are several along each side that look like this. They have some signage that says graph panel on them. These little graph plate looking things. We have, this is looking at the back of the Idris. So we have one on each, there's one on each side when you first come in. And then you have the elevators that go between the hangar and the cargo deck above. We have component access, doors to get out of the hangar. And then we have two rows of the cargo area. Sorry, my Pisces is kind of blocking it. Another door. And then we have, let's see, two more cargo areas, another component access, and then looks like at the very front, there are three additional cargo areas, and that is mimicked, of course, on the other side of the hangar. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 total cargo areas, I believe. So lots of places to put cargo. So again, the most common box I've seen put there has been the 16 SCU container. So I do have some of those here. So we're just gonna try these out first, since I know these should fit. They're pretty much the perfect width for fitting there, although it appears that the cargo grid is off from the geometry a little bit, if you can see there. If I could move my camera here. The grid is like inside this little area here, or on the other side, which I think there might be a bug, I want to say, with cargo grids right now that might be causing that. But as we can see, of course, it should visually fit there. If we just scoot it back in, it should. Of course, it won't. There we go. Now let it come to a rest. See, so the 16 SCU boxes should fit in this area, it looks like, although there is a little bit of geometry clipping there. So maybe there might be a little bit of polish they need to do for that to make that fit correctly. What if we flip it the other way? We do it like that. Not snapping. And then the grid's sticking out a little further than it should. But there it will snap. So you could potentially put them side by side like this, of course, if the grid is working correctly as it should. Or, of course, the other way like this as well. I think they should fit that way. So that's the 16 SCU box. So then, with it being like that, I don't think a 32 SCU box would fit here. I mean, we can bring it over and check. Let's see. Oh, it does give a prompt, like it'll snap to the grid. But it looks like it sticks out way too far. But you can see it does give that, so I don't know. Maybe it can, and it's just not working properly? I don't know. That's a bit of an interesting one. Of course, this one's not going to fit lengthways on there. But it kind of looks like it could potentially snap to the grid. If the grid goes to this little kind of dotted white line right here, it could potentially snap there. So we'll have to see if that's the case. Again, I think there are some bugs with just stuff not snapping to grids in the first place at the moment, but we can at least visually kind of see where stuff should fit and what should fit there. So but that should be replicated across all of the different little cargo areas in the hangar. So that's going to do it for testing in the hangar here. Next, let's try taking some stuff up into the upper areas, which I think is where it'll get a little bit more interesting as to what we could potentially fit there. So pretty much as far as I can tell, the best way to get things into the upper cargo deck here above the hangar is going to be using these elevators here. Any other spaces, you're going to be a lot more limited in the box size you can actually get up there. Like if you tried to take some boxes through these doors and then go up the stairs and up and around into the other way into that room, you'd at best probably be able to take 2 SCU boxes, but we can probably take at least some 8 SCU boxes up this elevator, possibly 16. Let's see, if we put it in like this, will it go far enough back? Doesn't look like it quite does, but maybe if we flip it lengthwise, we might be able to get it to fit. Yes, okay. So if you put the 16 SCU boxes lengthways across this elevator, they should fit in there. I don't think you can fit more than one at a time. So next, let's take the elevator up, and then let's see if we can get it on off the elevator and get it on the grid up in this cargo area. Okay, and one potential thing that could cause issues is there's kind of this, I guess you'd call it like a little crane sort of system. Maybe in Squadron this will be actually be used. You'll see it moving cargo around in this area. At least for us though, in the PU, it's just art, decoration. It doesn't serve any function. So I guess we'll see if that causes any collision issues. Well, the box just seems to go right through it, so maybe it doesn't. Or maybe it does. Okay, hold on. Let's readjust. I appear to have gotten the box stuck on something. Let me grab my atlas, see if we can pull it out with that. So it appears I have gotten this box stuck, which is not looking good for getting these 16 SCU boxes into that top area. Seems like it got stuck really when tried to pull it off of the elevator, and it maybe collided a little bit with some weird geometry. Let me go back up to the top there. We'll try pulling it up again and see maybe if we can get it unstuck. No, I think I've got this one stuck, unfortunately, but I guess we do have another elevator, so I'll just we'll try bringing another box up this way. But we'll be a little bit more careful and try to not get it stuck like that one. Maybe that one will fix itself at some point. Okay, so maybe we can rotate it to the side while it's in the elevator, so we can just kind of pull it out a little bit easier. Seems to get stuck a little bit. Maybe if I just raise it up a little, bring it over, that might work. It does seem to just phase through the little crane part here as well. So we'll bring it off. Come on. I don't know why it's not moving further than this. Is it getting stuck on something else? Well, the images they showed in that spec sheet of there being 16 SCU containers up here might not work, because I don't seem to be able to get it really outside of the elevator. There's like when I move it to here, it just gets stuck on something. Can't tell what. Move fine otherwise. So, yeah, maybe the 16 SU boxes will not work, at least right now. Maybe there's some bug or something that's making that not work quite right. So let me go grab, let's try an 8 SU container. Let's see if that is any better. Maybe we can get that in here a little bit easier. So let's go switch over to that and find out. Okay, so the 8 SU one does fit, you know, of course, a lot easier into the elevator itself, but it is the same height as our 16 SU box, so we'll see if we have some of the same issues possibly related to the height of it. Let's see if we can get it to come out further than this far. So pull it out, and we're stuck on something. Which maybe this is the same thing we were stuck on with the 16 SU box, but it just let us get it out further before it happened. Seems like the box is moving a little bit. Nope. I don't... I think there is something weird with something just blocking these boxes that's preventing it. Again, it might be something to do with this crane sort of system here, so that maybe need to be adjusted, or maybe you're just not supposed to put larger boxes up here. So yeah, kind of disappointing that we can't. And now I seem to have gotten this box stuck, which is just great. So yeah, it looks like the 8 SU ones don't work. So now let's go try to grab a 4 SU box and see if we can get that one in here, since that one is going to be a lot shorter. Okay, let's go ahead and take this up. Still have the issue of the 8 SU box being in the way, but we might be able to skirt around that. Okay, let's see if we can grab it like this. Bring it out and over. Yes, it looks like we can. Okay, so we can get the 1 SU high boxes in here. We can snap it to the grid. In some places, some of the places don't work for some reason. But, so it looks like this space would be 8, looks like the space here is 5 SCU long, so you could fit, if you could get it up here, a 16 SCU crate, and then a 2 SCU crates on the end here. I'm assuming this is only going to be 2 SCU high, that you could stack it based off of just the ceiling height. There's just no way you'd be able to fit 3 there. So then if we move it, I guess if you move it over as well, so we have a 3 high, or a 3 wide, or a 4 wide cargo grid. Again, this one right here, this spot is seemingly off a little bit, so that may or may not exist. So it's either a 3 or a 4 wide grid here, or it just keeps going across. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe the whole thing is just a grid. I kind of thought these areas right here would be sort of like a walkway between, like, you'd have some cargo here, cargo on this side, but then nothing here. But it seems like you can put stuff there, so maybe that's not the case. So it might just be these two main areas here, and with the black panels, that is where you have your cargo grid in this second deck. I guess we can throw it over here. Of course, it'll snap over there. But yeah, at least from the initial testing, it doesn't seem like you can get anything bigger up here than a 4 SCU box, which is disappointing. So maybe there's some adjustments they can make for that to be able to make it easier to get the 8 SCU and 16 SCU boxes up here. So we will have to see. So now we're going to take some a 2 and a 1 SCU box up to the upper cargo deck. Again, these should be able to fit up there just fine. And then we're going to test out what sort of boxes we can get into the very front cargo room that's right by the med bay. The only way to really get boxes in there is to take them through the hallway. So I'm guessing we'll really only be able to take 2 SCU and 1 SCU boxes there. We might try the 4 SCU box, but you know, I don't know how far we'll get. I don't know. Now I've gotten this box stuck. Oh, never mind. We're good. Okay. So let's just try by chance the 4 SCU box first. Move these out of the way. I don't even know if it can fit through the door, to be honest. I mean, these doors are fairly large, but for cargo boxes, I don't know. Like even diagonal, nope, I don't think it'll fit. Like that, yeah, it's close, but it's, yeah, I don't think it's going to fit out of the door. So it looks like we're down to our 2 and 1 SCU boxes. So let's do our 2 SCU box. Let's try and bring that out. Okay, it does fit just fine. We should have plenty of room here in the hallway. So then we're just going to move down the hallway. And we should be able to move this to the cargo room up at the front. So let's move it up there. Okay, so here's our cargo bay door. I believe the actual door is the same size as the other main cargo bay. So we'll go ahead and flip our box like this, and we should be able to bring it in just fine. As we can see, we have our extra cargo room. Each of these areas can hold 24 SCU maximum, so an additional 48 SCU in this room in total. Looks like the grid is functioning. This grid looks like it's lined up correctly to me. So you could fit 4 SCU across, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 SCU deep. Now, if they're just going 1 SCU high, that puts you at 16 SCU. Now, again, it says 24, so there's another 8, I believe, that it could hold. So, I don't know exactly how that grid would lay out. We might have to check that when we get the 1 SCU box. Then I can stack them and see if it's like just over here you can put an additional height, additional layer, maybe not here. So let's go grab our 1 SCU box and try bringing that over here as well. Right, let's go ahead and bring our 1 SCU box in. We fit fine, of course. So then let's see here. Can we stack? Well, this one looks a little bit off, but again, this might just be, the grid might be off a little bit. So we got 1 there. Let's move this box over. But we don't... Oh, wait, no, I don't think this box is snapped correctly, is it? Nope. See, now this box won't snap. It makes no sense. If we try it right here. Let's see, would the box snap there? So... To me, at least, it looks like it would snap 4 across. Yeah, something, maybe they just didn't label this correctly, or I don't know, maybe the grid isn't functioning 100% how it's supposed to. Again, I think there are some bugs right now just with cargo grids in general. But at least at first glance, it seems like it should be able to carry 32 SCU on each of these little areas. But again, it might be, you know, it can carry 1, 2, 3 or something, and then not, or, you know, 1 or 2, because that would be another 8 SCU. But not in the middle here, or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe the ceiling height's a factor. I'm not entirely sure, so kind of confused there. We'll have to see how that ends up shaking out. But that is the front SC, or the front little cargo room here. I guess this would be a little bit different if you were doing like some commodity trading and you could auto load your cargo. It should, you know, it'll just automatically pop into the grid like it's supposed to. So if you do it like that, you probably could get the larger containers into this room as well as the other cargo deck above the hangar. Of course, you wouldn't be able to really move them around very much or move them down to the hangar or anything. But you could at least get the bigger containers on there that way. So there is definitely a case to be made that potentially you could do some commodity trading in this, because it does have over 1,000 SCU. This is like almost as much as the Ironclad has. It's, you know, a little bit less, and the Ironclad will definitely carry stuff more efficiently. But there is a case to be made, so we might have to do a little bit of testing on that in another video. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me test that out. I'd love to know your thoughts on that, and any other thoughts you have just in general of kind of this cargo grid testing that we've done. Do you have anything else you want me to test in regards to the cargo grid besides commodity trading? I'm sure there's a bunch of other things that we could try out with it. Maybe some different little vehicles we could get up in this bay. Probably nothing too crazy, but we could try that. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts in the comments. But that's going to do it for this video, testing out the cargo grid kind of layout of the Idris. We'll have to, of course, do a little bit more testing once we have some of the bugs ironed out, and do that commodity trade test and everything else that we're going to do with it. So if you'd like to see those sort of videos coming in the future, feel free to subscribe to the channel to get notified when those go live. And otherwise, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And until next time, I'll see you in the verse.